the accursed world. Tell me, what honesty is there when you are summoned to discuss peace? When you are disarmed and suddenly 4 bullets have to beat you?
Peace, peace, oh peace unto the whole world.
Apart from money, apart from materials that we can have, a great story always makes life enjoyable.
We are voice of the voiceless. Tiripo paku spread the message.
Munhu anotoimba ane medicine rake ende ane message anenge ada kutumira kune vanhu. Saka message iyo haifaniri kumiswa kuti ipinzwe mune vanhu.
Our stories are missing. Our stories are sort of an afterthought or a footnote.
Zimbabwe's artistic landscape has long been a battleground for freedom of expression. From the colonial era to the present day, artists have faced stringent censorship laws that have evolved over time.
Song ndakaimba na the late Soldier Love yainzi Minana. Taitaura nezve like fake prophets ndo mazuva akanyanya kuwanda prophet. That song, it was a social commentary. Chakatorakidza kuti song yanga yanotambirwa nevanhu. It was voted the best collaboration in Zim Dance Awards. Taingonzwa apana akati ataka direct, but taingonzwa kuti hashi vanhu vasima like those pastors and prophets avasukutofara nesong yacho.
The Censorship and Entertainment Control Act of 1967, enacted during the Rhodesian era, marked the beginning of formalized censorship, aiming to control the content of films, music, literature, and other forms of artistic expression.
You often hear about people's stories where they've been arrested, where they're in particular places, and like there's this fear that's like, I don't want to be that person. So you sort of limit yourselves in those ways where you always know like there's certain things I'm gonna say, there's certain things I can't say.
I was limited to extent whereby I had to change the script. I was so frightened, like, oh, what am I trying to create and how will people accept it?
The work that I've done, especially considering being queer or like expressing that I'm queer within books, my first published book called At What Age Does My Body Belong to Me, I did write about like my queer experience in there, not just when it comes to what could happen politically, but when it comes to what could happen with your safety. So there are a lot of considerations that come.
During the liberation struggle, artists like Thomas Mapfumo used their music to voice dissent against the Rhodesian government. Mapfumo's Chimurenga music became a symbol of resistance, leading to his harassment and eventual exile. Post-independence, the Mugabe regime continued to suppress artistic voices. The late Konto Mhlanga, a renowned playwright, faced censorship for his politically charged plays. Visual artist Owen Maseko was arrested and his exhibition on the Gukurahundi massacres was banned.
Whilst I'd be doing classic plays or devised plays like Miss Julie or the one that I've just done in Tutwane, I always look at the religious side of it, and generally the political will come out into perspective. One
of the artists had a song that talked about Gukurahundi, and the situation that happened in Zimbabwe. And when we were trying to get that played on radio, right, radio DJs also being concerned for their safety were like, oh, right now we can't play this, or we can't put the song on. So there's always these like situations where everyone is skirting around and trying to make sure that they are safe, you are safe, everyone is safe. Political censorship, like where your life is at risk, but it is in little things like that. So whenever now you're creating work, you're always cognizant of can I actually get airplay, especially if I'm like an artist who sings? Can I actually get my books read? I had someone who very much lovingly told me that, oh, your book might not get the award that I was applying for simply because it mentioned being queer, and that's not gonna happen. They're like a government body that they're not gonna touch that, you know? So you navigate in choosing what is more important, and that's what we did with the people we mentored. Is it more important to get your voice out? Are you trying to do this to get an award? Are you trying to do this to get praise? Or are you trying to do this to represent a community?
I can give you an example of the song Mudendere, which was produced by Oskid. We managed to put the song in the streets first, even if the board sensed it was the message he was trying to bring up to the people was not okay.
Despite these challenges, a significant percentage of Zimbabwean artists remain unaware of the specific laws governing censorship. A recent survey indicated that only about 40% of artists fully understand the legal framework surrounding their work. This lack of awareness often leads to inadvertent breaches of the law and subsequent penalties.
I was threatened on social media sometimes when I would talk about things like abuse, right? And you would have someone threaten you with rape. So I feel like we've taken all of these little fears of things we've heard, like if you're a journalist, you get arrested. If you're a speaker, there's things you can't say. There's other things that you can't say. And then
there have been political forces that have tried to discredit certain things. And so they took advantage of, the generality of people not reading. I'm sorry to say, but a lot of our artists, they don't read. We don't like to read.
We've done a lot of songs with Suja Love, with Killer T. We did the song Simuza Gumbo. We did the song Babarako Imboko. We did the song with Sekalas, or it was banned on the local stations.
I think artists are very big, important, and often the most visible voice when it comes to situations, political and non-political.
When you don't have money, you won't be creative. Of course, there is a creation that you can make, but
we are already dealing with a higher mental load than most people. Like, I think those things will always affect your work, because sometimes as an artist, we're doing all of this art around a 9-to-5, around a full-time job. And by the time you get home, you're tired.
The artists, they are trying to express their feelings through music.
And it's like, I'm just writing, I'm just a girl, I just need to eat. But there's all of these hoops.
Artists in Zimbabwe must be aware of several key laws that govern their creative work. These include the Censorship and Entertainment Control Act of 1967. This act grants the government broad powers to regulate the content of films, music, literature, and other forms of artistic expression. The Broadcasting Services Act. This act regulates the content of radio and television broadcasts, including music videos and documentaries. The Postal Services Act. This act regulates the content of printed materials such as books and magazines. The Criminal Law Code. This code contains provisions that can be used to prosecute artists for sedition, defamation, or public nuisance.
Officer Mami Sangoro, Officer Mami Sangoro. People vanozoitora in a certain way, which brings every concept to a halt and stuck.
There are projects that have been sort of censored, never banned, but sort of we can't play that on radio, we can't represent that, that type of thing.
My artists, my musicians, they record and one way they are poets as well. So my poets, I know one design yao yani wajida kutaura, but wajida kutaura nyaya yao. song ya Killer T. Kuti baba vako imboko whatever. Inini kwandinobva kugwero kuti mboko zvinotira zvakasiyana nezvinorehwa nekuti mboko muHarare.
There are sensitive issues, the Kukuraundi issue, right? If I'm going to stage it here in Harare, it might not cause much of an issue. Why? Because a lot of people in Harare might not be familiar with the events. And then you go to a particular place like Lupani, where some of the people, they witnessed it, they heard stories. For the sake of political well-being and stability, someone might say, no, don't stage it here because of its sensitive nature. That's political control.
There should be a central board, alright, fine. Since in Zimbabwe we are not only using one language, so pavano senza ipapo vari kushandisa chii kunosenza that. For example, ndiri mugwerini ndichitaura kuti guys, let's go watch a movie kuhoro kuhou, horo, wow, theater, wow, we call it horo. Someone in Mutare hearing me saying this, that song will not be played in Diamond FM, or because the same meaning of the same text, that word, means different in Mutare.
While these laws may restrict artistic expression, there are also some protections for artists in Zimbabwe. The Constitution of Zimbabwe guarantees freedom of expression, including the right to create and disseminate artistic works. Additionally, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights protects the right to artistic expression. In recent years, Zimbabwean artists have faced renewed censorship efforts. Winky D, a popular dancehall artist, has been criticized for his socially conscious lyrics and has faced challenges in getting his music played on state-controlled radio stations. Other artists such as Ja Preza and Makoomba have also encountered censorship issues.
I've always found out that once you're doing the social, the political always comes, because all art is political and human nature in itself is political.
Zimbabwean artists have access to various platforms to showcase their work, including social media, online galleries, and international exhibitions. These avenues provide a broader audience and a safer space for artistic expression. As the fight for freedom of expression continues, Zimbabwean artists remain resilient, using their creativity as a powerful tool for change. Recent news reports highlight the ongoing struggle for artistic freedom in Zimbabwe. These events underscore the importance of advocating for a more open and inclusive cultural environment.
If I say officer mamisa ngoro, saka officer mamisa ngoro, saka is that a problem? In moment yeah, that song you can play it on FM. Makutoti kanganisa isusu ma producer ka, because isusu but not distribute music here. We accept expecting it to be played on my radio stations.
The future of Zimbabwe's artistic landscape depends on the ability of citizens to defend their right to create and share their work without fear of retribution. While many artists are willing to speak out against censorship, some fear the potential consequences of doing so. The fear of the unknown can be a powerful deterrent, discouraging artists from openly expressing their views. However, the fight for artistic freedom requires courage and resilience. By speaking out and advocating for change, artists can help create a more open and inclusive society.
To young people who are facing censorship in Zimbabwe, my real thing is just keep going. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop. You never know who's watching your journey, who's also really inspired and encouraged and knows where you came from, how hard you've worked, and wants to also reach where you've reached. So keep doing it.
Most of the policies that you hear inside the BC policy, when you go to them, don't engage in your stuff, we don't even know who the censorship board members are at the moment. We do not even know that aspect. The Censorship Act itself is not really readily available to us as artists. One, they need to have presence everywhere in Zimbabwe. At the moment, they just have presence in Harare. In-house policies, especially for our broadcasters, they need to realign themselves, those ones, with the Censorship Act. There are too many laws that or rather can be manipulated to fit the Censorship Act. You know, we need to be very clear with our laws.
In terms of music now, as a music producer, because some of the music that we are producing is not being played on air. As a music producer, there are so many ways of making income come in. So you don't worry very much about the local broadcasters and whatever. You just use the online platforms to distribute your music. And after you distribute it through, you know, all those platforms and DistroKid, DistroHive, YouTube, whatever, Spotify, people, vanhu gurumandira vanhu richatsvaga song iyoyo mustreet takutoita kamuka kutobridja futi kuti okay fine even kuti iyi music yatinoita iyi haisi kunoita. And if you are a DJ and you are not playing that music, hapana.